Yeah, I think the president, I'm glad I don't live in another country where I don't have freedom of speech. At this point, I alluded to the possibility of him having dementia because of these anger outbursts. Not everybody who has dementia necessarily loses their memory, but especially in seniors, and I hope that I never have dementia or Alzheimer's or anything like that. But President Trump, since he's been in the presidency, have been talking about people with low IQ. And it almost seems like every decision that he makes would be from a person with a very low IQ. I want you guys to really think about what's going on. The situation for not just America, but for the world is more dire now than it was prior to us firing rockets on Iran for the second time in 2 years. Because don't forget, the first initial attacks were in 25 to destroy their possible nuclear uranium enrichment sites that we totally obliterated, that the president stated. Israel fires at Iran, and then America follows up. Now, Israel's no longer firing at Iran, they're firing at Lebanon, but America, they kind of left us by ourselves. And for, I guess, the past couple of days, we're thinking that, there's a ceasefire deal, but then Iran comes out with a 10-point plan. Iran comes out with a 10-point plan. So today, what we're going to do, we're going to cut right through this administration's smoke and mirrors of the last 24-hour news cycle to really talk about grand illusions of the tough guy politician. Because we've been falling for it. I know we have. Because if you turn on the news right now, all you see is President Trump throwing an absolute temper tantrum on Truth Social. He said some of the most diabolical things I ever heard a person say publicly. I won't even say a president. I'm going to say a person to say publicly. And he's furious. He's screaming about CNN fraud, threatening to investigate sick role players, and demanding apologies. This is the act, in my opinion, of a dictator. And he's making the entire U.S. government tyrannical. But whenever a politician starts pointing the finger at the media, screaming, as he always have, and probably always will, fake news, you have to ask yourself one question. What news networks do you guys look at? Is it CNN? Is it MSNBC or MS Now? Is it Fox News? Because I look at all of them. I don't think I should. I remember growing up, a lot of my family used to always just watch CNN. And I'm like, but what are the other guys saying? Oh, they're not saying anything. Yeah, they definitely have some opposing views. Because here's the thing, all of them lie and all of them tell the truth all at the same time. You just have to figure out what things they actually align on and realize maybe that's a lie too. Because they want to distract us from the fact of the art of the deal just become the art of the fold. Because for weeks, this administration have been beating their chests, from Pete Hegseth to J.D. Vance or the president himself. We've seen the 3 a.m. post threatening to wipe out an entire civilization off the map. How would you do that? Ballistic missiles won't destroy an entire country. You know how many ballistic missiles it will take to destroy Iran? So again, automatically people are assuming that he's talking about nuclear warfare. We've seen the chest thumping about how Iran is obliterated. Like, they don't even have a navy. They don't have an army. Again, the tough boy politicians, they're up there. They don't have a military anymore. How they're still holding the Strait of Hormuz hostage then? Oh, well, they got a couple of missile silos we can't get to. I guess they're not obliterated. I guess they're not defeated. But the moment a real economic threat hit the table, the moment the Strait of Hormuz was actually threatened and the global oil supply hung in the balance, the tough talk evaporated faster than a campaign promise. Because they make a bunch of promises and they don't come through on them. The United States government, we folded like a cheap lawn chair. Now, granted, I know that the government by itself is an entity separate from the people, but unfortunately, they represent us all, regardless if you voted for him or not. He ain't my president. You're a U.S. citizen, he is. We got to start looking at the receipts, because the math, in my opinion, is very nasty. Iran handed the United States a 10-point plan, ceasefire deal. Nah, we got to look at this 10-point plan we're going to hand you guys. And this wasn't a suggestion, by the way. It was a demand. And what did this administration do? They called it a workable basis for negotiation. They said we can work with this. Let's break down what this 10-point plan is, because this is where the finesse happens. And I want you guys to look at this very quickly to kind of give you some insight. And we're going to go through it, because we're in a worse condition that we were. All right. I think you guys got the gist. So they gave us a 10-point plan. I see Jermaine Anderson involved in the room. Let's kind of go through this very quickly. First, I want to point this out to you guys. The alleged statement put out by CNN World News is a fraud. As CNN well knows, the false statement was linked to a fake news site from Nigeria, and of course, immediately picked up by CNN and blared out a legitimate headline. The official statement by Iran was just released and posted on Truth. Authorities are looking to determine whether or not a crime was committed on the issuance of the fake CNN World statement, or it was a sick role player. CNN is being ordered to immediately withdraw the statement with full apologies for their, as usual, terrible reporting. Results of the investigation will be announced in the near future. Your president. Wow. He's calling again CNN that they somehow took a news reporting from a fake news in Nigeria, but CNN then came out again and verified the information that they got from Iranian officials. And we're talking about the 10-point plan. This is the actual 10-point plan of Iran, ladies and gentlemen. This is what they stated, that if America and Israel do not abide by, the Strait of Hormuz will not be open, and they will continue to hold the world's oil hostage. And I understand. Number one, the U.S. must fundamentally commit to guaranteeing non-aggression. So stop attacking us for no reason. Continuation of Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz. You guys catch that? Their continual, and I pointed this out yesterday, their continuance control of the Strait of Hormuz. Acceptance that Iran can enrich uranium for its nuclear program. So now Iran says, we want nuclear bombs now. We want nuclear bombs. And don't forget what I said before. The administration said this is a workable basis for negotiations. It is? I thought we didn't want Iran to have nuclear weapons. Removal of all primary sanctions on Iran. That means allow us to make money on the world stage. That's what that means. Removal of all secondary sanctions against foreign entities that do business with Iranian institutions. they're talking about countries like China, Russia. They're talking about mostly those two countries. Okay. Here's number 6. End of all United Security Council resolutions targeting Iran. They said, you guys get in this big circle jerk. All these white nations get together, and then they want to destroy this Muslim nation out here in the Middle East because they know we got oil, and Israel keep wanting to expand their borders. Again, that's a little bit my conjecture and rhetoric, but that's what Iran is saying. Because why Iran is trying to do a ceasefire and 10-point deal with America, Israel is still bombing Lebanon, talking about we looking for Hezbollah. End of all International Atomic Energy Agency resolution on Iran's nuclear program. That means stop trying to inspect us if we're trying to make nuclear bombs. We want to enrich uranium, and we might make a couple just in case. Number 7, compensation payment to Iran for war damage, reparations, restitution. You came in, you use your bombs and your drones, and you destroy our property unprovoked. You did it because your boys, Israel, shot first. When they shot a couple of times, then they started attacking Lebanon, but you kept on attacking, pay us reparation. That's what Iran is stating. Number 9, withdrawal of U.S. combat forces from the region. We don't want to see no foreign troops near or on our soil. Number 10, ceasefire on all fronts, including Israel conflict with Hezbollah in Lebanon. But Israel, 3 days within the ceasefire, was still attacking Lebanon because Israel stated, well, America didn't meet with us when they were trying to do this ceasefire deal with Iran. No one met with us and told us anything. So we're not going to abide by the ceasefire deal. Wait a minute. Did Israel say that? Did Israel state that America, President Trump, didn't meet with your prime minister, Bibi Netanyahu? You mean to tell me they didn't talk about it before he made that deal? The same way that we heard reports that you guys has fired upon Iran and then we followed suit, and all the decisions that Israel's made without confronting and consorting and talking with the United States of America. Don't get me wrong. We're both wrong in doing what we're doing, in my opinion. We should have never attacked Iran. See, the American people, the one thing about us, last year when they bombed Iran of all those nuclear sites, we were like, okay, all right. We don't know if any people, got harmed or not, but it was just a couple of missiles, destroyed the nuclear sites. They can't make nuclear bombs. Hooray, hip, hip, we're out of there. Israel was like, you know what? Our population has grown. We need to increase our borders. In order to attack Lebanon, we got to pretend like Iran is still a big deal. Because don't forget, Lebanon and Israel are a little closer than Lebanon or Israel and Iran. I'm just stating. So when we look at these things, I'm not alluding to anything. I'm just trying to connecting some of the dots. Given the evidence of past historical attacks that Israel has made on their neighboring countries. That's all I'm saying. But that was a 10-point deal that Iran made to America. And America said, that's a workable deal. That's a workable deal. The thing that really kills me that they stated in their 10-point deal that they want the right to enrich uranium. And America came back and looked at all 10 points and said it's a workable deal. And that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to accept the deal of Iran enriching uranium. Okay. Now, do we think that America is going to pay Iran reparations to repair, their infrastructure because of this war? I don't think so. Does that mean that the war is going to continue? I believe so. I definitely believe so. I wanted to zoom in. Let's see if I can find. I want to show you guys something very quickly. Let's see if we can zoom down in here. I want you guys to look at this. So we're looking at an overshot of the Strait of Hormuz, right? Iran is right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is Iran. This is the Strait of Hormuz. Oil that's coming from Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates. They got to come through this strait. And Iran is right here. So Iran has controlled the Strait of Hormuz, and there's nothing that the world can do. And that's why I think, as President Trump stated, those empty threats, which I don't really think they were empty. I think that it's possible he would try and annihilate an entire population of people because of some oil. If I have to pay $5 a gallon in gas, not for a country to be genocide and be annihilated, I will. That's very inhumane for a country to try and annihilate an entire civilization because we can't get no damn oil. I guess we need to start going back to bikes and scooters, because we should have never attacked Iran in the first damn place. We stated that there was no longer a nuclear threat to America and the world because we destroyed Iran's nuclear uranium sites. Then we came back after Israel shot a couple of missiles and say, oh, we think we missed some. And then full war broke out. This is crazy. This is absolutely nuts. Strait of Hormuz. This little strip of land is responsible for 20 to 25% of the world's oil. And don't forget, our president came out and stated, he said, the Strait of Hormuz will not increase gas prices because America produces more oil than Saudi Arabia and Russia combined, which was a lie. Now, individually we produce, but combined we do not. So if we go along with this 10-point plan, Iran's going to get everything they want. I doubt it. I just don't know, folks. I just don't know. I'm just thinking about this 10-point plan. I just can't get my mind off the reparations. Because we'll find some money to repair other countries, repair other people when it comes to reparations. I won't go there. I know you know I'm going to go there, right? But they sure won't give it to Black Americans. But the most disrespectful part of this entire deal is the waterway. Because Trump literally agreed to let Iran regulate and control passage through the Strait of Hormuz. He did. We're talking about the most strategic waterway on the planet. As I said, 20 to 25% of the world's oil goes through the strait, and now Iran has formalized a brand new practice. They are allegedly charging a 1 million toll per ship paid in Chinese cryptocurrency or Chinese yuan. $1 million per ship. They said, well, off a ship of oil, you guys probably making $1 billion, so we want 10%. We want 1 million per ship just to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. Iran is charging toll tax. So they didn't just get a ceasefire, they just secured a brand new multi-billion-dollar economic engine courtesy of the United States government. Oh yeah, you guys voted them in. You voted them in. So my thing is now, policies that Trump had that I agreed with, I think I agree with 1 or 2 of his policies, so don't beat me up. Do they do this acts of terrorism on another country? Uh-oh. Does this override any good policies that may support America in years to come? starting a war for no good damn reason. Because I want you to kind of look at the absolute efficiency with which the United States government will bend over backwards to provide a 10-point tangible package to a foreign, quote unquote, adversary in Iran's demand 10-point plan. And right now they're negotiating, but they're talking about charging every ship $1 million. That's your reparations. But they want that and restitution. But as they always tell the American people, especially Black Americans, the country is broke, right? Because here's the thing, just as though they signed an emergency, what you call it? I forgot already. Yeah, when they signed an emergency executive order to pay the TSA agents, did you know they could do that to bring down oil prices? Did you guys know that? They can assign an emergency executive order that gas won't go over $3 a gallon. They can actually do that for regular gas. It's a subsidy. Just as well, Obama, he bailed out all the banks and bailed out all the car manufacturers. They can do the same thing for the American people when it comes to gas prices. But the country is broke. $38 trillion in debt. That's what we get told, do we not? So I just want you guys to look at the hypocrisy of this. Because they can figure out how to let a hostile nation, as they state, charge a $1 million toll on a global waterway. And before then, Iran wasn't getting paid anything. Iran is now looking like the big dogs. Think about that. Everything was fine and dandy in the Strait of Hormuz. Oil, gas prices in America was relatively low. Now I'm looking at gas prices where I'm at, $4 a gallon. And then I'm beating myself up because I'm like, why did I buy a car that only takes premium gas? God damn. And some of you know what I'm talking about. You have a nice car, you're going to have nice gas prices. But they wasn't receiving any money. They wasn't even threatening the Strait of Hormuz. But we kept picking with them. Israel kept picking with them. And like, oh, we obliterate Iran. And we can. But it's going to take a much more powerful bomb. That there's going to be a lot of fallout and a lot of innocence and a lot of civilians being harmed and killed, which is very inhumane. We're talking about international war crimes at this point. So now they have a 10-point plan in place. It's like, well, this is non-negotiable. Huh? Every deal is negotiable, right? Well, we're going to charge out $1 million per ship. And if they try to go through without paying us our money, we're going to destroy it. I want you guys for a moment, and I know it's difficult, right? I know it's difficult. Put yourself in Iran's shoes. Put yourself in Iran's shoes where you allow the UN to form an energy inspection team to go scour throughout your country and inspect all your nuclear sites. The UN comes back and say, we don't find any sort of enrichment programs in Iran. And over the years, this keeps coming back up. It keeps coming back up. It keeps coming back out. You have these little skirmishes. Then America say, you know what? We have information that Iran has uranium enrichment sites to create nuclear weapons. So last year, we destroyed those sites. And the president came out and said they were totally obliterated. They no longer existed. Iran is no longer a threat to the world when it comes to nuclear weapons. Then Israel, a much smaller nation, which, less resources, but still powerful because of us. Israel said, hey, we was looking out of our window in these binoculars And we saw some enrichment sites. Wait a minute. Are you close to Iran? Where's Israel at? Israel is, let me guys show you guys where Israel is at. Watch the map move. That's how far Israel is from Iran. That's how far Israel is from Iran. We're talking about all the way, listen. That's how far. The Strait of Hormuz is here. Let me blow this up for you guys. The Strait of Hormuz is over here, guys. Israel is all the way over here. But look where Lebanon is. It borders Israel. Israel said, you know what? We was looking through our window with our binoculars and we saw some uranium enrichment sites over there in Iran. And America say, what? And Israel fired on Iran unprovoked. And America followed suit. And now Iran is charging $1 million toll tax, possibly, allegedly, ships that want to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. And they want to have the ability to enrich uranium for their nuclear programs. Very quickly, I just want to show you again. Continuation of Iran's control over the Strait of Hormuz. Acceptance that Iran enrich uranium for its nuclear program. Remove of all primary sanctions on Iran. Give us our money. Remove all secondary sanctions against foreign entities that do business with Iran and its Iranian institutions, China and Russia. End of all UN Council, resolutions targeting Iran. Stop attacking us. End of all International Atomic Energy Agency resolution on Iran's nuclear program. You no longer can inspect us. Compensation payment to Iran for war damage. Reparations so we can rebuild our infrastructure. Withdrawal of U.S. combat forces from the region. We don't want to see any foreign troops near or on our soil. Ceasefire on all fronts, including Israel conflict with Hezbollah in Lebanon. Tell Israel stop trying to expand their borders into Lebanon. That's how I interpret it. They can really drop all the international sanctions on the regime that hates them, but they can't drop the economic redlining that is starving everybody, especially Black Americans in our own zip codes. And this isn't about America first. It's about their pockets first. While the American people are dealing with inflation at the grocery store, at the gas pump, we continue to be hollowed out. And the political elites are enriching themselves through these very complex negotiations. Believe me, when money changes hand, the American people, we see none of this. You have to understand that these foreign policy crises are highly profitable for people at the top. While they're arguing about nuclear enrichment, they're filling slush funds in Qatar and Venezuela. Because my prediction on the information provided, the economic fallout of the specific fold is going to hit our neighborhoods in the next 6 months, especially if this war isn't over. Because by allowing Iran to charge $1 million toll in Chinese yuan, Chinese cryptocurrency on 20 to 25% of the world's oil, gas prices in the United States are going to spike artificially. They're just going to do it because they can. When diesel goes up, the cost of transporting our food goes up. Why do people believe that food prices go up? Well, the farmer is still using the same materials, spending the same money to grow the same produce, the same tomatoes. Why are the tomato prices go up? I'm just giving you an example. That's because the fuel prices went up. Diesel prices went up. Those trucks that take it to the different states and different grocery stores. So they have to increase the amount of food. Inflation completely suffocates the working class. This whole uniparty is going to use this incoming economic pain to beg for our vote in 2028. Watch. They're going to claim that they're the only ones who can save the economy that they just deliberately sabotage on the world stage. Don't forget, we have to have a long memory, ladies and gentlemen. We have to have a long memory because I want you guys to look at the last 2 years of the Biden administration and look at the economy. Then I want you to look at the economy now. Ever since President Trump got the economy, has it gotten better or worse? It got worse. Yeah, it definitely got worse. And this is what I'm talking about, these damn political parties. They sabotage they sabotage their own people on the world stage. And a lot of these people who were so right-wing, a lot of these media pundits that were so conservative right-wing, not that they're no longer conservative or Republican, but they now see that this isn't about a political party. And I've been telling you guys this, since this year, this is about the elites. This is about elitism. People really need to stop cheering for these damn politicians. They're going down like the Titanic when it comes to President Trump. What does he have to do? What does he have to say for somebody to say, you know what? Damn, I voted for him, but hey, I thought it was a good idea at the time. I don't hear that. Oh, this is not the same man who walked in the White House. They give excuses. Look, we make mistakes. We make a bad choice. Then people who voted for President Trump, the people who stated that they voted for Kamala Harris, like, we told you he was crazy. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what would have been better. I don't. The person I voted for didn't reach, the primaries. I keep forgetting how to pronounce her name. I voted for Mary Anderson. But you guys know what I'm talking about. She was the only one talking to where I could understand. I didn't believe that Kamala Harris was a good choice, and I didn't believe that President Trump was a good choice. Neither side is prioritizing us. What if I came out with my own 10-point plan? A lot of people may not like my 10-point plan. Because if the government can negotiate tangibles, land control, and economic restitution for a foreign power thousands of miles away, then they can do it for us right here at home. I'm just saying. Because as we are following these, 2026 shenanigans and these escalations, the proposed ceasefire terms reportedly granting Iran significant strategic victories, including the removal of primary and secondary sanctions. That's what they're asking. That's in their 10-point plan. The right to continue enriching uranium and the de facto regulatory control over the Strait of Hormuz and charging ships $1 million per ship. That's a toll tax for your ass. I thought I'd get mad. I get on the tollway up here. It's like $3. They charging $1 million. I ain't going through there. Maybe people don't understand because, as I told you guys before, I'll read my comment section after the video post, and I see people stating that, oh, you shouldn't have voted for DEI and Kamala, or you shouldn't have voted for Trump. It's like, my candidate either didn't make the primaries. What are they talking about? And just for the record, people who stayed this long, I'm not a damn Republican and I'm not a damn Democrat. I'm just a black man with a voice. Holla at your boy.